deeply honored to be here, and I do want to say to the president, I had an opportunity to meet him, and to the committee and the board members, thank you for this opportunity. And to Deborah Brinkley Jackson in her absence, I want to thank her for the nomination for this award. When I was told to share my story, I thought to myself, what really does TRIO mean to me? TRIO to me stands for the T, the trainers and the teachers who help make the transition to higher education possible for low-income families and first-generation graduates. The R gives us the reasons why you continue to reach out to students and become advocates for the resources that you need to support this program. The I is for the innovation and introductions to diversity and to the inclusion of technology and the individual inspiration that you give to one student at a time. O is for the opportunities to assist those who are oppressed with life's obstacles and for the services, and for those who qualify for the services locally and nationally. And to those of you specifically who work in what I call as courage under fire. When you don't know when your program is going to be financed, and you don't know if you're going to be able to provide for your own families, I say to you, it is paramount that you continue in the struggle. Because everything that you do from this day forward must be on purpose, and it must be done with passion, even if you cannot see the way. My story began in Miami, Florida, when my parents were involved in several domestic disputes, and they decided to go their separate ways. My mother left, and my father immediately became a single parent. This day changed my life even more. My dad was simply across the street playing dominoes and cards with some friends, and my brother and I decided to take a lamp and bring it closer to a mattress so that we can see how to eat. And sure enough, we left the room, and we, needless to say, left the lamp on the mattress. The neighbors called the fire department because we had set the mattress on fire. We left the room, and fire was in the other room. And after the police department came, they realized that we were alone in the home. And my father was arrested, and he was taken to jail. He had one phone call, and he made that phone call to my maternal grandmother in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And until she could come and pick us up, we became wards of the court. We became custody of DHS. We lived in orphanages. We moved from place to place in foster care, and I was even separated from my brother as a candidate for an adoption agency. My grandmother was the eldest of 9 children. She became a high school dropout in the 10th grade. Her family was sharecroppers, and they were Cherokee and Seminole freedmen. She worked as a nurse's aide and a housekeeper. And we were in the custody of the state of Florida until she came to get us. I was 2 years old, my brother was 5. And soon after that, 4 other grandchildren joined us. We were raised with spiritual values, and she spoke to us in parables with broken English. We had no transportation, no resources, and we survived on welfare and her SSI check because she was disabled. We lived with my uncle. He lived with us as an honorably discharged veteran. He was diagnosed as schizophrenia after a terrible accident where he murdered his wife. He was cleared and declared innocent, but for our family, we were not healed, and we were not encouraged to seek treatment or recovery for him. He became abusive and abusive to us in our own home. And we knew every day after school, we had to fight. So education for me became a great escape, but how was I going to plan, and who was going to pay for college? I was a triathlete, honored with letters in softball, basketball, and track. I worked 2 jobs at the age of 15, only to have the misfortune of being assaulted, raped, and stabbed. Counseling was not an option because culturally, African Americans and Native Americans keep their personal business in the family. And after being raped, I did not choose abortion, but because it was the only option that was available to me, it was my only access to health care. And at that time, I was thrusted immediately into womanhood. My athletic career was shot, and I was unable to play any sports until my senior year in high school. At age 16, I moved to live with an aunt who was an educator, and from that point on, I was inspired to go to college. Trio, you gave me my life back, and I say thank you. The Student Support Services and the University of Oklahoma gave me a second chance to fulfill my dreams of being a college graduate, especially after my grandmother shared with me that no one in her family had gone to college, and how important it was for me to hold the baton to preserve my culture. So as a granddaughter of a high school dropout, the daughter of a survivor of domestic violence, the niece of a mentally ill veteran and a candidate for gang violence, a rape victim, certainly the recipe for disaster was certainly one of the labels that was placed on me. And to the TRIO trainers, the program workers, the student support services, the mentors, the administrators, it is because of you that I have overcome the odds that were against me, and now I have become one of your alumni and one of your success stories. It is because of you that I was the first to graduate from college and continue my education to earn a master's degree in urban education and behavioral science. It is because of you and the student support services that I am now an educator, a case manager, a mentor, a board member of several organizations, a spiritual leader, a journalist, a community activist, a mother, a radio talk show host, and I have completed my second term as a state representative. I am the second Seminole citizen elected to the state legislature in the state of Oklahoma in the history of Oklahoma's legislature. So when Barry Lofton and TRIO comes to the state capitol, I have an overwhelming feeling of pride because I serve on the Appropriations Committee for higher education. State Capitol makes my job easy. I have the privilege of serving on the International Relations Committee for Tourism. And so I have the honor of welcoming international dignitaries to the state of Oklahoma, and they are impressed with our educational structure and our student support services. I have studied the educational systems in Turkey, Germany, Italy, Nigeria, and Sierra Leone. TRIO, you are international. I say thank you for allowing me the opportunity to learn, to lead, and to serve. I have been inspired by the words of Dr. Tony Roach, and he is from Abilene, Texas. And he submitted to me the 7 laws of reaping and sowing. And the 7 laws of reaping and sowing are as follows. What you see is what you say. What you say is what you sow. What you sow is what you reap. And what you reap is who you are. And who you are is what you give. And what you give is what you get. And in the end, you get what you deserve. You may never know how you're shaping the future of America, but today you know how you've shaped me tremendously. Thank you so much, and God bless you all.